G'day guys, this is Tia and welcome back to another Fallout 76 raid video. Today we are going to be taking a look at some footage I've collected for you guys. This is me and my whole team completing the entire raid from start to finish without power armor. And to make it even more challenging and to show you guys that it is possible, I myself am doing it bloodied. I felt like it would be a little bit too much to ask for my teammates to do the same, so they were all full health while myself I was being bloodied. The main takeaway from this video is to show you guys that it is possible. You can do the raids without power armor and you can do it bloodied as well. Now this video is mainly a response to a huge outcry that I'm seeing all over Twitter and the comments of some of my videos and other videos. Basically, people are under the assumption that you are absolutely 100% required to use power armor to complete this raid. Like they think you need to be a power armor heavy gunner build. You don't. It does make it far easier, but you don't. You can do this raid with whatever build. It's just far easier if you use power armor, because obviously power armor is the most defensive armor in the whole game. You're going to take less damage. It's a no-brainer. But it is possible to do it outside of power armor, and to even do it bloodied, as I'll show you in this video. So yeah, that's the premise of this video. Fortunately, I forgot to record the audio and the gameplay audio, so the video was silent. I'm just going to be playing a bit of music and I'm going to be talking over top of the footage, explaining what's going on and where my head was at throughout some of the moments. And then I'm going to speed through some moments where nothing's really happening. So yeah, I hope you guys will enjoy the video. It's something a little bit different. I just wanted to show you guys that something like this is possible. And in this video, I'm not even min-maxed. I'm not a proper build. I was just trying to see if I could do it. This is my first real attempt at doing the raid without power armor. So I just wanted to see if I could do it, and you absolutely can. So with all that said and done and out of the way, let's get into the video. Alright, so here we are starting at the Guardian fight. I'm just showing you guys all my armor, weapons, and perks, so feel free to pause and check everything meticulously. I'm not using 4 stars at the moment, and I'm not really properly min-maxed for certain things here, but you can see I'm not wearing power armor and that I am bloodied. I did raise it a little bit to half health because this guy hurts. He did absolutely tank my health bar and insta-kill me a few times when we did attempt this before, but if you'll see later on the guys I'm with here, we got Commando, we got the Gardener, and we got Stade. All of us are not using power armor. We're all in our regular armor, just doing this as a little bit of a challenge to ourselves because obviously doing it with power armor makes it far easier. That is the meta right now, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I just want to make this video, like I said, to show you guys that it is completely 100% possible to beat the raid without power armor. So what I'm doing here is I've got the whole guide out already, so you guys should know the strategies. We've got 2 players on either side of the bot, so that one team can take aggro and the other team can VATS the shield generator. We're switching back and forth. And we're all using railways, we're using plasma guns, we're using laser rifles, and I think Commando was using a fixer. So you can do whatever you want with this fight, and it should be pretty good damage output. As you can see, we're absolutely annihilating the health bar, and we almost took it out in the first room heating. So the damage output is actually quite insane. You've just got to be very careful and hide behind the concrete pillars. That's probably the biggest survival tip I can give for completing this area without power armor. Use the concrete wall to your advantage. Obviously, if you spam enough stims, maybe if you're built for it, you can use quantums and heal through all of the attacks. Maybe if you have some good 4-star effects. I don't have any 4 stars at the moment on this build. You could probably tank through it as well. But that concrete wall is going to be your best friend if you're doing what I'm doing right here. But yeah, we've just been annihilating the shield generator with VATS. The railway is actually very good for this, and it takes down the health of it by a lot. And as you can see right there, it even pierces through and somehow damages the bot's actual health bar, which is quite handy. I'm not quite sure why that's happening, but it happens. Anyway, we're moving on to the drill room. You guys know the drill here, pun intended. Collect fuel, someone defends, and the rest of the players run for their motherfucking life. Yeah. We all know how this one works. There's nothing really crazy to talk about, so I'm just going to fast forward and skip through this part because there's nothing to really comment on. It's just avoid the mole miners, collect the fuel. So yeah, in a bit, just enjoy the fast forwardness and the music. Alrighty, so we're almost done here. The drill's almost fully fueled up. We did have Commando sitting back defending. I made a few risky plays throughout this that you probably saw. We've just got a few more fuel canisters to collect at this point. I think it's 3 left or 2 left after Gardner deposits his. I'm just marking that last one for Gardner. And I am in a little bit of a tricky situation here. I think I am about to get my my shit pushed in by one of the mole miners. So in a second I'll die here, and then we have to coach Gardner through it to make sure he gets that last fuel back. As you can see by the fuel counter, we only need 1 more fuel. So we're so close, and there it is. You just can't avoid those situations. There's not much you can do. But a good tip is, you saw before I did mark that fuel. I knew that there was one here and Gardner couldn't find one, so I marked it for him. And I told him, wait till I get this fuel back and then you go for that last one, because there is a stalker in the area. Just a little bit of a communication tip there for you guys if you are struggling. But yeah, we deposited all the fuel. Nothing crazy really about this fight. Just Commando was up top shooting everything with his handmade or his fixer, whatever he was using. And yeah, we slayed the drill room and nothing else to really say about that. Mission complete. And now we are at the Enclave squad Epsilon fight. If you've watched my guide, you know how this works. 3 players are defending their own separate drills. I'm taking the one up top at B. I think Commando is on C and State is on A. And then we have the one last player, the 4th player, that is kind of taking aggro and holding all of the Enclave squad down in the middle, or at least trying to. Since we are all trying to kill them as fast as possible, we're all kind of stepping on each other's toes here and getting down there and ruining Gardner's aggro. But his main job, that person's main job, is to take control of Bloodhound, I reckon, probably the most important thing. While the rest of us just take out the iBots and take out the generators as they get healed back up. Sometimes they sneak in behind us, especially if you're up where I am. If you're protecting generator B, they can sneak behind you because your eyes are obviously over this ledge trying to shoot at the squad when you get the chance to. So it's a little bit tricky to manage, but sometimes you can catch them like this as they are walking or floating in. The guys here, they're doing some solid work while I'm getting preoccupied with these iBots. As you can see, Bloodhound's health is getting absolutely melted. They're all using railways or Enclave flamers and just absolutely ripping them to shreds. Bloodhound is by far the tankiest one, and like I said in my guide, I do recommend you take Lynx out first because his slow cryogenic auto grenade rounds are just incredibly annoying. But as far as danger goes, Bloodhound and Vulture probably do serve as more of a threat. Lynx is just more annoying. But yeah, it's important when you're doing this for yourselves, guys, that you do have that 1/4 player sort of taking control of Bloodhound and holding him in the middle so that he's not up here interrupting me or maybe one of the other guys with their generators. Because the last thing we want while we're trying to take out iBots is have a gigantic psychopath with a laser chainsaw in our face. Speaking of which, that's what's about to happen to me. Perfect segue. Yeah, Gardner kind of lost control of him, which is fine, it happens. But now he's up here with me, and I've just got to fucking run. I wish that I had have recorded the audio for all of us with this, because it was quite funny. But yeah, all you really got to do in this situation is just dodge and weave, jump over him. Remember, he's melee, so there's not much he can do until he gets right up in your face. Gardner should be trying to take his aggro back down. Eventually Bloodhound goes down and I kill him up here anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. But yeah, just a little annoyance that can happen if you're doing this for yourself with your team. Make sure that Bloodhound is preoccupied downstairs. So yeah, there we go. Bloodhound is about to be taken out. Epic. And while all that was happening, Vulture got mowed down as well. Now it's time for Lynx to drop like a sack of potatoes. There we go. Quite easy. If everyone does their job, this is a very easy encounter. So yeah, let's move on to the next part. We're going to be looking at how I did this with the crystals. Okay, and here we are, the crystal section. So if you're referring to my guide again, all you got to really do here is just be patient. Avoid that mole miner. He's the only one who can one-hit kill you. All the other creatures, the only thing that's special about them is that they can't be killed by normal means. You got to take them out with the crystals as well. They don't deal a whole lot of extra damage than they normally would when you find them in the wild. So yeah, we've just got to get all of your teammates around this one central crystal. I do recommend that you sort of group up the horde, get everything, get all the frogs, the mole rats, whatever other creatures are spawning, as many as you possibly can in this first little wave, and then also the mole miner himself. Get them all together around this crystal, and when you feel like you have enough of the horde grouped up, then you blow it up, and you obviously take out a few of the other smaller crystals as well when the mole miner is next to it, and then you move on to the next larger crystal. So I'm just going to fast forward this little bit, and we'll be back when we're at the next section. Alright, so right here I felt like we had enough of the creatures grouped up around. It actually wasn't. Some of them kind of got away. Normally when we do that first crystal, it takes out half of the Ultracite Horde's health bar. As you can see, we're just over half, so it didn't take out as many as I would like. Now the mole miner is sort of walking around. The rest of the group is leading the mole miner towards the smaller crystals that aren't going to be where we're standing. Take down his health bar just a little bit. Stayed perished. He got a bit too close for comfort there. So yeah, now we're just going to lead everything towards this second large crystal, including the mole miner, and yeah, we'll fast forward through this until we get a large grouping. So this next part, it is important that you get as many of your players as you can around that crystal to eliminate as many variables as possible. When you are blowing up the second large crystal, you kind of want all of the death claws. I think there's 3 or 2 in total that can spawn, and then there's like 4 gulpers. Try and get as many of those under the crystal before you blow it up as possible, as well as the mole miner, obviously. Again, we weren't as efficient this time around. We kind of let a few of them slip past the crystal, and they evaded the large explosion, which is unfortunate. We're just going to have to waste a few more small crystals, and we're also going to have to make early use of our larger emergency crystal. So that's what we're doing now. We're going to lead everything over to the final emergency large crystal. So there we go, we got the mole miner down with some of the small crystals. I think one of the guys accidentally shot the large crystal early, so kind of a scuffed run. But it's good to show the crystal run when it's not all going smoothly, when it's not perfect. I think so far I've only shown my crystal room runs when everything goes swimmingly and perfect. So it's nice to show it when everything goes a little bit south, goes a bit wrong. To show you guys that it's still possible to recover and just, you know, get your bearings. You can find the small crystals and take out the remaining members of the horde. Just don't go wasting them all because you only have a finite amount, and you can run out of crystals. And there we go, that part is done, and now we are moving on to the Ultracite Terror. Let's go. Alright, so here we are, final boss. I realized that our health was actually a little bit higher than I wanted for the other fights. It didn't really matter in the drill room, I didn't bother there, and then I just kind of forgot in the Enclave room. Again, it didn't really matter for us, we weren't really defending, but I would have liked my health to have been a bit lower for the Enclave fight, so I could have dealt more damage, and obviously for the crystal room it didn't really matter. Go full health or half health there, doesn't matter. But here, health is back down, we've got a ton of buffs running, and I think the guys too as well. I'm just going to be trying our best to dodge all of these venom sprays and venom fucking homing orbs. Dodging the mechanics here, shooting the tail when it pops up. We're just annihilating that tail as soon as it pops up. The railways are a must use if you're going to be a commando when doing the raid. Even though it got nerfed, it is insanely powerful, and you can see we're taking out the health bar very fast, putting up some big numbers. 4,500 damage there when we're critting on the eyes. That's a lot of damage. Yeah, baby. So yeah, as you can see, like, we're tanking all of its attacks. Just face tanking it. Jumping around and spamming stimpaks, sure. But like, it's biting us and it's spitting that venom on us, and we're able to tank it without power armor and, you know, without any really defensive armor, because we're still using unyielding. There's no overeaters. Yes, we're using sentinels, but that is bugged a little bit at the moment. So really, we could be a lot more defensive here. But I've opted to do more damage, so I've got unyielding so I can crit every second shot. And we could be better. We could use 4 stars and we could be more optimized. We could be using certain buffs that would make our AP regen faster and deal even more damage. But we're not. So just showing you guys that it is entirely possible. Just like, look at this. The damage it takes out on the health bar there, it's probably half of our remaining health bar down before the stimpak kicks in properly and we're able to tank it. Solid work. The guys here were doing great as well. No one's really struggling with it. So it's definitely recommended to do this full health. But you can do it low health like I am. It just requires a lot more focus and, I guess, more skill. As you can see, we kind of weren't focusing on the tail and it did destroy a part of the island there. But here we are, the final little push, the final damage check. Take it out before it breathes in the air and wipes you all. Nice and easy, nice and simple. And that's all she wrote. So it is totally possible to beat this raid without power armor and bloodied. Alright, you legends, that concludes the video. I just wanted to, like I said, show you guys that it is possible. A lot of people have been saying that it's not, or that it's very hard to do. I understand it might be difficult, but nothing worth doing is ever going to be easy, guys. Just a little bit of a challenge for yourselves. It's a bit of a challenge for me and the group. Like I said, it's easier to do this with power armor. It's recommended to do this with power armor, but it's not entirely necessary. It's not required. You can do it outside of power armor. And if you've got the right build, if you've got the god roll gear that you have to earn and craft, then it's totally doable. I want to put that out there for you guys. Share it amongst Twitter, share it amongst your circles in Discord, whatever. It's possible to do, and you don't have to stress too much, okay guys? As far as raids and trials go, the one here in 76 is on the easier side. I know a lot of people in Fallout 76, they have been used to a certain way of doing things. They've been used to a certain type of build. We like to call this the filthy casual build. This is a raid designed for the endgame players. It's finally content. This is the first piece of content in over 5 years designed for players like myself that have beaten the endgame, that find everything in the game super easy. This is finally a piece of content that is challenging for people like myself that have proper min-maxed endgame damaging and tanking builds. So guys, if you are one of the players that are more on the casual side, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but it might be time to edit the build and copy one of mine or another YouTuber's and try out something a little bit more min-maxed. If you are struggling, that is. Because hey, it might be totally possible to beat this on a filthy casual build. It might be totally possible to beat this as a level 50. You can do anything you put your mind to, just have persistence. But just like I did with making this video, doing it without power armor and while bloodied, 2 pretty big handicaps that I put on myself here, and we did it fairly easily. So yeah, that's going to do it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you at least took something away from it. If not, that's okay. If you're still struggling, that is okay also. Just make adjustments to your build and keep trying. With all that said, let's roll the outro. That's going to do it for me. A massive shout out to all of my channel members. You're all legends, and thank you for your continued support on the channel. If you like what I do here and you'd like to support me further, then consider becoming a member or check out my merch store. We've got a lot of great designs and benefits, so be sure to check that out in the description. And while you're down there, chuck me a follow on my other social medias and join my Discord. Subscribe if you're new and like the video if you've enjoyed. I've been Tia, and I'll catch us in the next one. Welcome to Valhalla.